Hello and welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another Historical Humans Reacts. And on today's episode, money may have originated through long distance trade. New theory suggests who would have thought this is how money originates.
Yep. Yep. I'm just looking at this as money originating through long distance trade. And I'm just thinking this has to be the first scam in history of just imagine walking up to someone and convincing them that these like little strings of trinket beads are somehow redeemable for their livestock.
Hey, I see you got those livestocks. What if I traded you this bead necklace that I made? It's worth
Yeah.
a lot.
Yeah. Each bead represents a sheep that you have sold to me. And you can trade in the beads for the equivalent value of a sheep
Or
so
do
that
you,
you don't have to carry all your sheep around with you.
Or
Isn't
do you
that great?
think it went the other way around, where someone's like, "Hey, man, that bead thing you made, I'll trade you a whole cow for it,"
Yeah. I don't know.
and then
It
that
just
guy got offered like a sheep for it. He goes, "No, no, no, I'm not gonna take a sheep. That guy paid me a cow for it. You're gonna have to give me two sheep for this."
it's like the need for like standardizing exchanges obviously increases with more trade, but at the same time, the guy trying to sell the invention of money just screams like the scam of selling someone the Brooklyn Bridge. It just says this cannot possibly be real.
and
And yet
there
at the same time it is.
and there's two theories about the idea of money, and the first of which is that commodity theory, in which money was developed to facilitate internal barter between community members. The premise that you are trading one good for that you desire is, oh God, I'm getting tripped up.
Oh
But
god.
basically, that you can't guarantee that the person you're trading has the goods or anything that you want. Say you're trying to get hides, but they're not taking your, stone tools that you're making. So you develop some intermediary third money item that you're able to exchange in a more uniform manner for those items.
Yeah.
It makes those larger transactions a lot easier.
Yep. Yeah, no, also helps, with the idea of, I need a carpenter to fix my house, but the carpenter does not need the goods I sell. So what the hell do I do?
But this theory also has a few issues because realistically, pure barter systems don't exactly work out, and that there really isn't a whole lot built upon, or that a lot of them use like trust and delayed reciprocity. Yet the plumber comes, helps you out, you go help him out when it comes harvest time.
Yeah. Yeah, those late bargaining, At the same time though, you have 20 chickens, you end up owing 10 chickens to three people and they all come to collect it the same week.
Or the other theory is the charter list, which I think is a lot more accurate, in which it was basically developed as a taxation system so
Yeah.
people could regulate the amount of money that they owed in tribute and
Yeah.
taxes.
Yeah, and there's two problems with. One is that a lot of well-organized states that did do a lot of taxation, they just taxed you in the goods that your region produced, as opposed to taxing you in a set money. Your region owes 13 Jaguar pelts. This region owes 4 horses. Deal with it. If you were expected to show up with 4 horses.
But in reality, both of these theories fall flat because they usually are pitted against each other instead of reality. It's in the actuality is that
Yeah.
it's a combination of multiple factors, of which being both factors, but they also talk about how moneyless societies that were used, but that still had money systems, were North America, where they used shell beads. And these were used for widespread trade all across the country and basically takes that equivalent place, but you still see the transaction and transition of material goods across the country.
Yeah, non-state entities have money. Some state entities don't have money. There's no direct linkage of one or the other to the existence of money. Money is just a thing that happens whenever society happens to need it, whether that's because people are trading over vast distances, or because whatever central power you're living under decides it needs a standardized system. And it's kind of a little bit everywhere, and that's the fun part of it, because you get to see what's it called, independent invention at work, where each different society develops a different form of money to suit whatever need that society has.
It's pretty interesting though because this article highlights what the Spanish experience, which they would come across these traders carrying mass amounts of shell wealth with them, and they were not just using intermediaries in every area that they went to. No, these were the people going from point A to point B to point C. They were the ones traversing thousands of miles, and they crossed political boundaries, social, linguistic. It is incredible, and in doing so, they needed a way to trade in these different areas that may not participate in reciprocity or may not have that set trade agreement.
Yep.
So
Yeah.
they would accept shell bead money.
Yep. Yeah, and it was, yeah. And the fun thing with that was these traders were completing a full circuit, which was a lot different than like the European and Asian style of it, where you traded between 2 points. You were, like the Silk Road. If you were starting at one end, your job was to get silk from the silk regions in India or Nepal or China, and you were to get them across the border to where the next nearest good is and exchange them and then go back to that silk producing region. And someone else would then take your silk to the next step along the way. The Americas one, no, you completed the entire circuit by yourself, Marco Polo style.
And what's interesting is then they go back to talk about Bronze Age Europe, which may have used bronze and copper ingots as the role of money. And it's kind of funny because they see Scandinavian rock art that depicts conical hats, chariots, oxhide ingots, and to along with Norse objects like folding chairs and razors, but they depict Mediterranean motifs, meaning that those travelers really did go across the expanse of Europe. Like, we always tend to think about early peoples not really having gone all that far outside of their insular areas, but in reality and in hindsight, they really, really went a long ways.
Yeah. There are fifth and fourth century Greek travel guides that talk about how to uh, how to go up through the Black Sea, through Ukraine, and get to Poland and Scandinavia to trade with people.
That's cool.
Yeah. They also have some very interesting accounts of what the hell is going on up there at the time. Because, fun fact, the Greeks did not understand a lot of Nordic language, so they made up what they thought was happening.
But it's interesting because do you see how this trade was facilitated through the use of items that had universal value? That's where the bronze ingots, rings, axes could be standardized and using them as a form of money.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
really interesting how it really
yeah,
how it unified and it worked across these different areas. And you mentioned independent invention, and I think that's probably the real basis of that. But the most fascinating part about this is we see across the world this invention of money, of some form of currency to do these trade is just it's human instinct almost. It's really cool.
yep, yep. At some point, humanity wants something that is portable and universally valued, so they can go around exchanging with it.
Hey, Colin, I'll trade you a set of D&D dice for a meal.
Yeah, we're gonna do the dice here. We're gonna trade next. We're gonna be trading in what, the trading cards, right? We're gonna start
I'm
using
just
those for
letting the
like
world
actual
know if
cards.
they have to bribe you, one of the ways to do so.
That is not a way to bribe me. I have all the dice I need.
Uh-huh. Let's see you say that with it right in front of your face.
Now that holographic Charizard you got rid of.
Oh. But yeah, I think that's probably a good point for us to wrap up this episode. Thank you guys for watching. Let us know what you thought down below, and we'll see you in the next one. Peace.